Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the RNCC meeting. It is April 13th, 7:05. Welcome to the RNCC Richmond Neighborhood Coordinating Council meeting. Rock, would you care to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's right. All right, before we go around and do our introductions, I wanted to say once again, this is the Richmond Neighborhood Coordinating Council meeting. The Richmond Neighborhood Coordinating Council, the neighborhood councils encompass 52 square miles of Richmond. We have approximately 33 neighborhood councils in Richmond and 6 voting districts with approximately 120,000 people. So that being said, Rock, would you like to start off with introductions?
Rock Brown, Treasurer of the East Richmond Neighborhood Council and Sergeant at Arms of the RNCC. No report, but if Jim is out there, feel free. Our president, thank you.
Garland Ellis, Director at Large in the RNCC, also President of the Richmond Annex Neighborhood Council. We have an election coming up in our next meeting, which will be 4th Thursday in April. And pass it on.
Margarita Muniz, President of Marina Bay Neighborhood Council, and we're going to have a special meeting. Normally we have our meetings quarterly, but we're going to have one May 6th to talk about some things that are happening on in Marina Bay. So we're having a special meeting for that, and we're inviting DTSC, Department of Services. Yeah, Toxic Services. So they'll be in the house, and so open to anybody who wants to attend. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ardo Rentila. I'm the president of the Fairmead Hilltop Neighborhood Council and chair of the RNCC. We will be having on April 23rd, which is a week from this coming Thursday, at the Hilltop Community Church, we'll be having a mayoral forum. All are welcome. There's plenty of seats, plenty of parking. As a matter of fact, there's 1,800 seats there. A beautiful stage, and the candidates, for those that don't know, that are running for mayor are Mark Wasberg, Claudia Jimenez, Ahmad Anderson, our current mayor, Eduardo Martinez, and Demlis Johnson. So, yeah, please come on up April 23rd, Thursday, 6:30, to hear what your mayoral candidates have to say. Also, I'd like to state that we've had some complaints about campaign signs. So please, for anybody that's got complaints about campaign signs, contact the city clerk, or if they're on county property, contact our county supervisor, John Joya. But don't contact me, please. Yeah, and then I wanted to let you know that I'm also director for West County Wastewater, and we just had our legislative day up at Sacramento, and that there's about 2,000 new bills coming down to be looked at and voted on. One of them is going to be a possible property tax for the high-speed rail, which we're opposed to, and then there's a lot of some changes to the Brown Act, but there's some Senate bills and Assembly bills that people might want to take a look at. And for the record, we are raising our rates. Unfortunately, it's been 20 years since we've had a rate raise at West County Wastewater. So if you have any issues with that or want to voice your opinion, come to our June 3rd meeting. With that being said, Jan?
Good evening. I'm Jan Mignoni. I'm the president of the North and East Neighborhood Council, and I'm the vice president for the RNCC. We had our we're in April. March meeting, it's at the end of the month, so I have to keep thinking about this. And we had our new police chief come. We have kind of different issues going on in our neighborhood than maybe in others. We have an issue with prostitution on the, in the neighborhood, on the neighborhood streets, not on 23rd. They've now moved up to 24th. They like us better. So he talked a lot about that and what we could, things we can do again and start to get back into the habit of doing things to move that forward. And of course, traffic is a big thing because people don't know what a stop sign is. So, you have to stop twice nowadays for everything. But we had a good turnout and a good conversation with him. Hopefully, I'm going to talk to Michelle Milam to come to our April meeting. And we don't have a whole lot going on other than that. We're just trying to get geared back up. So that's your turn. Lori?
Good evening. My name is Lori Hart. I am the Vice President of the Parchester Village Neighborhood Council and the Secretary for the RNCC. Is that better? Okay. Again, my name is Lori Hart. I'm the Vice President of the Parchester Village Neighborhood Council and the Secretary of the RNCC. We have our next meeting, we have bi-monthly meetings for the Parchester Village Neighborhood Council tomorrow. And then on the 25th of this month, we have a Parchester Shoreline Tour where we're going to leave from the Parchester Community Center and we're going to have everybody tour the Dotson Marsh. And Garetha will have more information on that. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Garetha Johnson. I'm president of the Parchester Neighborhood Council and the PIO for the RNCC. And as Lori was saying, on the 25th of this month, we'll be having our Parchester Shoreline Tour, which will be, it'll be a free tour from the Dotson Family March, and there'll be a lunch included with that. And I think we'll leave from the center, and then we'll be transported down to the marsh. And the times for that will be from 11:30 until 2 o'clock. And the center is 900 Williams Drive in Parchester. There'll be a shuttle. That's the end of my report for Parchester. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bryce Aleman. I'm one of the directors at large for the RNCC board and also represent Richmond Village Metro Square neighborhood. We had a block party, which we haven't had in a long time. We're trying to renew interest in our neighborhood council. It was on Saturday in a slight break during the rain. It went very, very well. We're very appreciative for any and all city employees who assisted with that, and we also to the firemen that were able to show up and show support for the neighborhood as well. Nothing else to report.
Thank you. I'd like to bring up those of you that are from neighborhood councils up to the microphone up here. If you can come up and state your name and what neighborhood you come from before we go online. There you go.
Good evening. My name is Sherwin Harris, and I'm the new president of the Iron Triangle Neighborhood Council. The Iron Triangle Neighborhood Council has a new slate of officers. The position of vice president is Abigail Mateo. The position of secretary is Free Brown. She's also the owner of Vibe Briscoe. The sergeant of arms is Fred Franklin and Eddie Doss, and our immediate past president is Oscar Garcia. I just have a couple of things I wanted to share besides that. The Iron Triangle Neighborhood Council presents How Women Lit the World, the Rise and Falls of Human decency. Please join our council meeting for dinner, prizes, and presentations in celebration of a woman's heritage. That will be Wednesday, April 15th at 5:30 at the Nevin Community Center, 598 Nevin Ave in Richmond. Also, the Iron Triangle, the Richmond Village, Metro Square, Coronado, and Park Plaza neighborhood councils invite you to the Richmond City Council District 3 and Richmond Mayor Candidates Forum. That will be held on Monday, April 27th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Vibe Bistro, located at 1503 McDonald Ave, Suite B in Richmond.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Naomi Williams, and I'm the co-president of the Pullman Neighborhood Council. I'm glad to see you guys. I'm sorry I'm missing a lot of meetings, but I'm incapacitated, so I'll capitate it.
Yeah, that part of it's true.
Well, anyway, I'm here for this meeting. I don't know if I'll be at the next one or not. Just gotta see what God has in store for me. We had our meeting, we had the meeting changed, and it's from on February now. It's not in January. It's February. We just had our meeting last Saturday. We had, was it last Saturday? Okay, it was last Saturday. This is my co-president, Jonas, right here. And we had other elections, but I didn't bring them. I had them, he gave them to me, and they're at home, so they're in a good spot. Since I'm here and they're there. I think that's all I have to say. I want Jonas to come up and tell we had a meeting and what happened at the meeting. Just a few minutes. We only have a certain time. But I want to introduce my co-president for the Pullman Neighborhood Council, Jonas. He does all the work. Thank you.
Hello. She does all the work. I support. So I'm Jonas. I've met most of you already. Yeah, we had a great meeting Saturday. Dory Robinson came and fielded our questions. We recently found out that our neighborhood has some of the most children in all of the Richmond neighborhoods, and we don't have a park. So that's going to be one of our priorities, is trying to identify where we can put a park. Ideally, there's something that's walkable. We had Sergeant Thomas come and also give us an update on what's going on in the neighborhood, and we had some Andy's Donuts, some coffee, and we had a great meeting. So, and of course, led by the infamous, not decapitated Naomi Williams. So, thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. Anyone else would like to say hello, April, or do you? You're good. Okay. Hello. Okay. We'll
Also,
move to
if you're,
online.
if you're online and you have a report or you're president with a report from a neighborhood council, please raise your hand electronically so I can unmute you. Oops. Jim, go ahead.
Okay,
There you go.
great. Hi, everybody. Jim Hanson, East Richmond Neighborhood Council. Just a short report. With everything going on in the world, at our last meeting, we decided to kind of ground things a little bit, literally, with one of our neighbors who's active in master gardeners and the tomato seedlings that are provided every year at the Richmond City Hall by the master gardeners. We had a presentation on the Mira Vista Field where a number of volunteers have gotten together and starting to work on a kind of habitat recovery project. This is a former, this was actually a district, school district property that was going to be built with condos, and the neighbors organized about 25 years ago to keep it as an open space. Is very popular, kind of little getaway. So anyway, some real good volunteer activity there. And then we talked a little bit about one of our members is active in the home electrification, you know what I'm trying to say, home electrifying fair that kind of is technical assistance. It's held at the David Brower Center in Berkeley. So I'll just leave it at that, and thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Crystal, if you'd care to go ahead, please.
Yes, I'm Crystal Barton. I am the president of the Laurel Park Neighborhood Council. Short report out. We are having our second quarterly meeting April 22nd, and that's all really to report at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your reports. Moving on, we have the Public Information Officer, Rita Johnson from Parchester. If you'd have some.
Yes, I have a couple of things this evening. On April 24th, RCF Connects presents an Angry Black Woman 101 at Contra Costa College, and that's from 6:30 to 10 p.m. And it's a powerful solo performance by Catherine Seaborn. Now, I couldn't read on the advertisement about the tickets, but I'm sure if you contact RCF, you'll be able to get some information about that because they didn't let me know how much the tickets were. So that's on Friday, April the 24th from 6:30 to 10 p.m. So on April the 25th, the NAACP will be having their 36th annual Freedom Fundraiser, and it's Harlem Comes to Richmond. And that will be held at CoBiz, 1503 McDonald Avenue. And the price of those tickets are $150. And you say, well, but $100 of that will be in casino money, and there'll be commemorative photos, dancing. There is a Taste of Harlem hors d'oeuvres, there's a dessert bar, and your MC for the evening will be Stephen Parker. On April the 19th, there's an afternoon with the League of Women Voters, and it's the future of democracy. And that's Sunday, 4/19 from 2 to 5 at 3715 McDonald Avenue. And there'll be refreshments, wine, and music. And the parking will be in the rear for that event. And the tickets are $25 a piece. And coming up is Juneteenth, everybody, Saturday, June the 20th at Nickel Park from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And there'll be more information next month. And that's all my information for today.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on her report? No? Seeing none, I guess we'll move on to her.
Wait a minute, Ardo, we do have one.
Oh, Lord.
We're not going to be at the park at 10. The parade starts at 10.
All right, thank you.
Could you repeat that in the microphone for her?
Okay, so the parade starts at 10 for Juneteenth on Saturday, June the 20th. But all the other activities will be happening at Nickel Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. Moving on, our presentation of the April is the City of Richmond Finance Department. I see they're all eager. You'd like to introduce yourselves and
Good evening. Jerry Garul, the accounting manager here for the City of Richmond over the Budget Division and Treasury Division. And I'm joined here today by the Deputy Director of Finance, Mubin Cotter. And we will be presenting the community budget meeting presentation today. I believe it's on screen, but we'll go ahead and get started. So tonight we'll be talking about moving Richmond forward. We'll go back to the first slide. So here on the first slide, we do have a QR code for those that aren't signed up for the City Manager's Weekly Report. Please go ahead and if you would like to sign up, go ahead and scan the QR code. That way you get all the updates from the City of Richmond. Next slide. So as we move Richmond forward, we look at the first picture here. We have the main library groundbreaking, which happened recently. So that's a big event that occurred where we broke ground on the main library, a new project to renovate it. Talking about the financial highlights for the City of Richmond, the city has a total budget of $729 million across all funds. The general fund budget for fiscal year 25-26 is about $266 million. The reserves have been meeting the 21% minimum policy target. We also have $296 million in grants awarded from various agencies, $211 million in capital improvement projects across all funds. We've also been showing strong governance and fiscal responsibility. We've recently undergone a California state audit due to being determined a high-risk city, which that high-risk designation has been removed due to implementing all 11 recommendations. In terms of the credit ratings, the city has maintained its credit ratings with a stable outlook with Moody's and S&P, or Standard & Poor's. The Moody's rating is an A3, and the S&P rating is an AA-, and that has been reaffirmed with a stable outlook. For the OPEB and pension, we have pre-funding policies, and those policies are reviewed annually, and we also consistently contribute to the Section 115 trusts that have been established with these policies. In terms of our financials, in this most recent audit for fiscal year 24-25, there were no audit findings, so our financials have been very clean the last few years. Moving to the next. So how do we so there we go. City Council goals. So with the City Council goals, there are 6 strategic goals that the City Council has established back in 2023. And these 6 goals are, number 1, improve quantity and quality of housing, especially low-income housing, and reduce homelessness. Number 2, increase revenue and improve economic development. Number 3, improve the quality of life and community health, improve social determinants of health. Number 4, improve public safety. Number 5, strengthen the city's internal infrastructure and processes. And number 6, address shoreline issues and ecological sustainability. These goals are important because it's what drives the city's budgets, and this is how we plan our budgets accordingly. Looking at the financial management side of things, as we move Richmond forward, we can see on the left side, this is looking at the general fund operating budget. So the budget has increased over 64% from fiscal year 2021 to fiscal year 2024-25. As you can see, it was about a little under 200 million, near 180 million back in 2020-21, and now the general fund budget is over $280 million. In terms of the investment portfolio, in fiscal year 2020 to 2021, it was roughly around 175 million, and now in fiscal year 2024 to 2025, it's about $375 million. This is pooled cash across all funds, and it has increased over 46% from fiscal year 2021 to 2024-25. Moving on to the budget allocation overview. So this is an overview of all the funds. So that's $700+ million budget. So about 36.5% of it is accounted to the general fund. That's at $266 million. And that is to support the major city services such as police, fire, public works, recreation, and all other city services. There's about 19.3% in the capital improvement funds, as I mentioned earlier. That was about $200+ million, and that includes funds such as state gas tax, impact fees, road maintenance and rehabilitation, the general capital, and Measure J. And special revenue funds. So those are the Secure Pension Override, Transformative Communities Climates, and Cameron Resolution Funds, Kids First Initiative, and the Home Key project. So these are typically grants funds and other special revenues. On to the next slide. Now, when we look at the departmental budgets, we have just showing the top 5 here. Public safety budgets account for the top 2 departments, totaling about 52.2% of the general fund budget. And with the top 5 departments being police, fire, public works, recreation, and IT, or information technology, the total of those 5 departments are almost 75% of the general fund budget, leaving only 25% of the budget for the remaining 15 departments. So we have about a total of 20 departments in the general fund for a total of $265.7 million.
I'm sorry, I can barely hear.
Oh, I'm so
Real fast. So if you would mind slowing it down, maybe speaking closer to.
Turn on your microphone too.
Lead by example. Lean forward, speak into the mic, and maybe just a little bit slower.
Okay, yeah,
so
sure
I can,
thing.
can understand what you're saying. Thank
All
you.
right, yeah, I'll go back through this slide again. So going over the departmental budget, can you hear me now, hopefully? Okay, good, thank you for that. The public safety budget accounts for the top 2 departments in the general fund, and that is for a total of 52.2% of the budget. And then the top 5 departments, which are showcased here on the screen, being police, fire, public works, recreation, and information technology, they account for almost 75% of the general fund budget. There are about 20 departments in the general fund for a total of $265.7 million. Next slide. And I will be passing it over to Deputy Director of Finance, Mubin Carter, for the presentation.
Hello, good evening. This is Mubin Carter, and I will be going over some of the major accomplishments and achievements of city's various departments and programs, starting off with public safety. Public safety maintained a record low number in homicides last year, and it was 45% reduction from 2024. And also public safety, police and fire combined, it responded to about more than $14,000 emergency incidents in 2025 and delivered reliable fire, medical, and rescue and hazardous materials responses across every neighborhood. And it also improved quality of life by addressing more than 3,300 abandoned vehicle reports and towing about 1,500 vehicles and issuing about 44,000 citations to keep streets safe and orderly. And regarding housing and unhoused community progress, it resolved major encampments using $8.6 million from ERF, which is Encampment Resolution Fund Round 2, a grant, and reached out to 99 unhoused residents and successfully provided housing to about 78% of those community members. It also secured additional $9.3 million in Encampment Resolution Round 3 fund to expand encampment resolution efforts and also add other supportive services to the community. And the city was also awarded with $14.5 million in home key funding, which is also another grant, and that is to convert a local motel into 48 permanent supportive units for chronically unhoused residents. And moving forward, Richmond to Port of Richmond, where the Honda vehicles imports resumed, and also made some improvements around the area to enhance traffic safety and reduce accidents in that area. In terms of real estate, there was a city marina lease equity transfer, which caused an estimated increase to property taxes in the amount of $142,000 annually, and around $1 million one-time documented transfer tax. And moving on to Richmond Housing Authority, an Eastern Village redevelopment partner has been selected, and the Nevin Plaza phase 1 renovations have substantially been completed, which modernize the affordable housing and improved living condition for the senior citizens of the city of Richmond. Talking about human resources, the internal services departments, they provided 79 trainings and more than 84 safety trainings and also implemented digital onboarding, and which also enhanced the compliance for the staff and workforce upskilling, enhanced trainings, and that means like better services for the citizens. City's Information Technology Department enhanced Emergency Operations Center communications, and also implemented and upgraded business systems to support Measure U and community development land-based system. Moving Richmond forward into revitalizing and community development, there was about $9.6 million Department of Transportation Complete Streets grant, and also SB1 $1.6 million for a sea level rise planning and safer connection and climate adaptation for vulnerable areas. It also had Hilltop Horizon specific plan direction secured, which was a framework to revitalize key activity center with the housing and jobs. Speaking about permanent land development, sidewalk vendor enforcement was implemented, and there was a new street closure policy, and also safer pedestrian access and clearer rules for utilities and vendors. Economic Development and Arts and Culture, ARPA, which is American Rescue Plan Act, Small Businesses Program, provided $350,000 to provided services to 48 businesses. And also the lot, which is in the downtown area of the city of Richmond. There is a food court, which hosts about 8 to 12 vendors weekly, and which really revitalize enhance the efforts to revitalize the downtown area. And in the public art area, there was an art project completed, for example, slate art, murals, and then placemaking that attracts visitors and supports the local identity. Environmental and health initiatives, there were 30 no-cost solar installations to homes, and then 5 zero net carbon ready homes, which and also supported lower energy bills and emissions for low-income households. And there was the draft 10-year report for health in all policies has been completed, and that is some of the highlights in the environmental and health initiatives. I'm going to move on to next slide. Public Works should continue to do amazing job like the other departments. Engineering and Transportation Department completed 2024 slurry seal project. About 78,951 microtransit rides were provided to the Richmond residents through Richmond Moves, and under abatement, illegal dumping of about like almost 3,000 tons from across 13,000 locations were removed, and about 3,000 graffiti tags were abated, which supported the cleaner neighborhoods and improved public realm. And the city also hosted 31 dumpster days, which removed 300 tons from about 1,100 seniors and senior and disabled homes, and which is like direct support for the vulnerable residents. Under the street maintenance division, more than 700 new signs, and all school crossings were installed, and all school crossings were refreshed, and which made the safe routes to school safer and better traffic compliance, enhanced the traffic compliance. Around 66 street lights were restored on key corridors, and solar lights were also added on Mobile Vendor Market and Castro Street. Nighttime safety and business activity was supported through these initiatives. Employment and training served about 172 participants, which secured employment, and 96 participants completed occupational skills training, and they also received a $500,000 grant from Richmond Wired for Success electrification training, which was basically upskilling of workers for climate resilient careers. Library observed a significant increase in activity and participation, which was about 13% increase in visits to total about more than $67,000, not dollars, sorry, more than 67,000 visits, and a 20% increase in physical checkouts to 112,000, more than 112,000. Higher utilization of the library resource, meaning higher literacy and learning resources across all neighborhoods. Bayview branch checkouts were up 62% and visits were up about 72%, which means stronger branch level community engagement means better community and quality of life improvement. Literacy for every adult program, as known as LEAP, 28 students with measurable English skills gains were documented, and more than 1,100 volunteer hours were observed. So adult learners advancing skills with robust volunteer support, meaning their quality of life was increased and was enhanced, and the community was better served. And Office of Neighborhood Safety contributed by, did a great job as well, and the participant reported about 94% of the participant reported improved mental health, and 82% of the participant are not using guns anymore. And then there were about 117 conflicts were mediated through their programs. That means the violence interruption linked to improved well-being and safer streets. So violence reduced and well-being in the society, among the individuals, and safer streets were enhanced and supported. Recreation Department, 40 youth foot stall teams were created among youth, and 300 plus campers, students during the summer program, participated in the Summer Camp Achieve program, which is more than a 2 months long literacy academic program during summer, and which is free for Richmond youth. And 38 neighbor-to-neighbor events with about were conducted throughout the city, and which reported about 2,300, more than 2,300 attendees, and that did cause sort of like neighborhood cohesion and positive activities for families and vibrancy in the city. And the program Richmond Fund for Children and Youth, RFCY, supported 37 organizations by awarding them $6.7 million annually from fiscal year 2025 to 2028. And then multi-year, that means there was a multi-year fiscal support for the youth community members of the city of Richmond. So there were like enhanced services for the youth programs and all the other supportive programs. The new program that the city just initiated, Reach Out with Compassion and Kindness, as known as ROC, has been active and actively working in the community. They have we have added 7 new staff members, and there are 2 mobile crisis vans deployed, and a new system is in place to serve the community better. And which was a project that was initiated a few years ago by the City Council. Now it's actually actively running and serving the community. Next steps. So the next community budget meeting will be on April 22nd, 2026 from 6 to 8 p.m. And then the first draft of the budget for fiscal year 26-27 will be presented to the City Council on May 5th, 2026. And eventually the budget adoption is scheduled or planned to be for June 23rd, 2026. Here is the flyer for the community budget meeting, and there's a QR code. You could access the meeting and the website through this QR code, where there's more information about the community budget meeting and the presentation. These are some of the upcoming community events. We have Earth Day Festival on April 18th, and Park Prescription Day is on April 25th, I believe, if I'm seeing it correctly. Yes, and Literacy Festival is also on April 25th. And thank you so much, and we're ready for questions. And we have the other city staff and leadership here present to answer any questions.
Good. I've got a few. Garland, do you have any? Anyone? Lori? Oh, okay, Jen.
On the RFCY, this is for LaShonda, wherever you are. I know you're here somewhere. I saw you. Do we have like a report on how the money has been spent, how it's been used, what kind of results we're getting? I know that we voted to do more, which is fine, but I just, always want to see results, whatever we spend our money in.
Good evening, everyone. My name is LaShonda White, Deputy City Manager for Community Services. Happy to be here. So there was a report that was done for the first 3 years of the RFCY program. So that was, I think, 21 through 24. And that is on the website, and that was presented to council, and that gave some information on how we spent the first cycle of funds. From that point on, we will do annual reports every year. So our report for 2025 has not come out yet. When it does, it will be available, but it'll have updates on and information on how we spent the funds, what organizations were funded. So when we have that, we're happy to even come to RNCC and share that update.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And if you have any specific questions, I don't have all that information with me at the moment, but feel free to send an email. We can get you specific information. Thank you.
Lori?
2 questions. One, there was a category, the debt service funds. Can you briefly talk about that? Just quick. And then second, I want to talk about the unhoused, if we can go back to that page, because I'm not understanding that. I just want some clarity on it. But if you could start with what the debt service funds are.
Yeah, I can answer the debt service question. So the debt service funds are two bonds that we have for debt service, which is the pension obligation bond and the civic center bond.
And then can we circle back to the unhoused? I'm not sure what page that was on.
Yes. The slide is,
Slide 7?
yes.
So that's not it. It's the one with the figures. 8.6 million. Yeah, it's got the figures on it. It said it was 99 unhoused.
Yes, so that is
I think right here.
yes, slide 7.
So is this for 1 year?
This is for the life term of the grant. The grant may be more than 1 year. That particular grant, the Encampment Resolution Fund Round 2, it's for the term of the grant. So it may have been over a couple of years. We can definitely get back to you about that, but that's a grant. But my understanding is that's a grant term reporting.
Okay, because it says that there were 99 unhoused residents and then 78 successfully housed. So what happened to the other percentage? Because the way it reads is you spent $8.6 million on 100 people.
We can definitely provide you a more comprehensive answer from the department and the program manager. Your point is, but we have made a note.
$868 per person. We should have been building them houses. So I'm sure I'm not reading this correctly. So
We can definitely find you a more comprehensive response.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, we've got one here.
We also have one online.
Okay.
Michelle, if you would care to talk.
Yes, I do not want to answer for community services for the unhoused portion of it, but that was Encampment Resolution 2. We have 3 rounds that Richmond got from the state. And I know people feel like, oh, for $8.6 million, we could build a house for everyone. The reality is it costs more than $20,000 per person per year. And this is over a year of assistance for people for rental assistance and other wraparound services. And there's very few people who can survive off of $20,000 a year in rental assistance. It's usually shared assistance, but that funding is actually coming to an end and a close, or maybe some carryover for next fiscal year, just so you all know. And we are also into Encampment Resolution 3. So there were 3 rounds. The first round has been expended. The second round is in progress, and the third round is in progress. We have to spend it by a certain deadline for the state. They don't come out, that fund doesn't come out the general fund. It actually comes from state funds.
Thank you. Any more?
Thank you. And thanks for that follow-up on the unhoused. I had the same concerns. Two questions. The first one is, do you have or have you identified the specific priority for the infrastructure improvements that are included for the upcoming budget for CIP items? And if so, where would I find that?
CIP projects, when it comes to CIP projects budget, it's a 5-year plan, and a lot of these projects are basically multi-year projects, and majority of those projects are actually rolling from one year to the other as they are moving. They are progressing and going towards completion. And any new projects are basically, they are created as the need arises, and also sometimes when the funding is available, for example, when there is a new grant or there is a new program, so like when the funding is secured, so that's another one. And sometimes it's, based on the communities and the staff's determination of the need, what the urgency level is. So like at this point, maybe there is a staff that is here that can answer specific projects. But as far as my concern, as far as my understanding is, like we will be rebudgeting or reappropriating the remaining or the expected project budgets that expect work in the next fiscal year.
Yeah, so where is the report, though? Where would somebody be able to visually see what is in the CIP?
Absolutely.
Categories.
So, so like the staff does provide a financial update on quarterly basis to the City Council, which does include all the projects that are currently being worked on, that are currently budgeted. And the staff will also be presenting the first proposed draft budget for fiscal year 26-27, annual budget and 5-year plan of the CIP projects that will list all the projects that are budgeted for next 5 years. You can also check out Public Works Department's website. They have a portal for capital improvement projects, and it shows all the projects and their current status. Progress and whatever the current status is on each project. So they have a great tool online available.
So it's on the website.
It's on the website, and it's interactive, and it's
okay, great. Thank you. I looked. I couldn't find it.
We can always you can send us an email, and we can always walk you through.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you for that. And then one other question. So, I mean, obviously there's a backlog of items that are in the CIP allocation for budgeted over however period of time it may be. So those items, has there been any plan to move those items forward, those backlog items? Because, items somehow are, that might have been on the backlog for, say, 4 or 5 years, right? They just continue to stay on a backlog. And then new items, somehow or another, because of the prioritization and the categorization that I think the city has now newly approved, these 5, I think it was 6 goals. Yeah. So how are we addressing the backlog so that we can ensure that those items continue to have a path moving forward?
Regarding the backlog, you're absolutely correct. There is always more need in the city than there are resources. There is, I know City Council did approve a prioritization criteria guidelines for staff to prioritize the projects that would be move forward. And regarding the backlog, yes, it's a continuous process of a conversation among the council and the staff to based on different criterias of like urgency and project readiness and the critical needs, and all those factors play into that. I wish if I had a better answer, very scientific and very clear answer. I apologize, I do not have. However, the City Council has approved a guideline to prioritize projects, and that is used by the staff.
So there is an approved plan?
I wouldn't say plan. I'm saying there is a guideline to,
There's an
yeah,
approved
how to
guideline.
rank and how to prioritize it.
Is that available for others to see?
It was discussed publicly by the council and approved by the council, so it's a public information
Okay,
that can definitely be provided.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'll try to make this quick. I know we're running against the clock. So for our RFCY, Richmond Funds for Children and Youth, I thought I heard you say 6.9 million per year.
I believe I did say that.
It's being reported. It's being reported that it's actually $99 million for 10 years. And that,
It's over 3 years, I believe. It's not, I'm sorry, I probably misspoke that. So it's not like, I believe that is over 3 years.
okay, because I just did the math and it ends up being 82.8 million.
And that's a lot
for
of money.
For 10 years.
So this is 6.8 million over 3 years, fiscal year 25 through fiscal year 28. Right. Sure.
Yeah, LaShonda will fix it.
Don't quote me because I have no numbers in front of me. But we just made a presentation to City Council a few weeks ago, and we were sharing, the number you might be referring to is maybe what the future projections are for the next 10-year period, because it's the RFCY, the fund is renewed for another 10 years. Council just made that decision to renew it for another 10 years. So I believe you may be thinking about future projections.
Actually, Richmond side reported it.
Was it for the current fiscal, the current 10 years? Or I just don't have the numbers in front of me. I don't know if finance staff does.
The current resolution that was recently passed was a $6.7 million annual allocation for each fiscal year, for fiscal year 2025, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28. And so it's to kind of make things more fluid and for the staff not to always have to come back every year annually, they went to council and brought this item to pass it for 3 years. So each year they'll be getting $6.7 million annually that they'll be giving out to 37 organizations.
So we get 3% of the general fund, and the general fund budget is $250 million, not including the additional revenue that was received from the polluters pay settlement. So 3% of 250 million is $7.5 million. So I think the number that Jerry is referring to is that 85% of that fund goes back out in grants. 10% is used to support staff overhead costs, contracts that we need to do for our community needs assessment, strategic investment plan. And then 5% is held back to support evaluation so that's how the ballot measure was written. So I'm not sure. I know we had a number that was for the current 10-year fund, and then there was a projection for the next 10 years. I just don't know where the 99 million, which one is connected to.
And I would also like to make it clear that 6.8 million may be awarded to 37 organizations on an annual basis. However, the actual expenditure is not that much. It's based on the expense reimbursement by those organizations. So expense rate is lower than generally than the full allocation. So it's not that all that amount is expended in 1 year. So
and my assumption is that the 99 million is for the next 10 years after this 10-year cycle ends, because if we estimate just that the general fund's budget will be $300 million annually, 3% of that is $9 million. Multiply that by 10 years, you get 90 million. So my assumption is that 99 million is for the next 10-year iteration. But we can get you additional data. I already sent an email that we would love to come back and present to RNCC about RFCY. So if that's okay, we can provide all the details at that point.
Thank you. And so my last two questions. One is how much do we have in our general fund?
How much do we have?
How much does the city have?
how much the city has in general fund?
Yes.
You're talking about total revenues and expenditures,
Yes.
or, okay, so like,
So, yeah, revenues.
what was that? Can you please repeat your question?
So our revenues for 25, 26, our revised budget is $308.5 million, and expenses for revised budget are $265.7 million.
Okay. And then if you could briefly touch on the unfunded liabilities, because you know I'm always going to ask, what the number is, and if you could explain to the audience what unfunded liabilities are and how we get there, briefly.
Yeah, sure thing. So in terms of the unfunded liabilities, so there's two unfunded liabilities. I believe what you're more referencing towards is the pension, the CalPERS unfunded liability. So there's two plans that we have, the safety plan and the miscellaneous. And so what the unfunded liability is the difference in experience and actuals to assumptions. So there's a lot of assumptions that go into kind of the longevity and the cost of retirement and future pension costs. That's a long, complicated formula. But currently, there is about $319.5 million in unfunded liability, and that's across the safety plan and the miscellaneous plan.
Thank you. And you said you were paying it down.
Yes, so we make an annual payment. So based on the unfunded liability schedule, there's an annual payment that goes out in July. So that addresses the unfunded need. And that's using the factors of all the investment returns, the discount rate. So all of their assumptions is which they'll give us our rate that we have to pay each year. And that can change based on, like I said, those experiences changing, those investment returns not coming in as well as they planned or hoped to, salaries growing, personnel costs growing. There's a lot of factors that can modify that UAL year over year.
And the city's current rating?
What's that?
The city's current rating? No?
Current rated credit rating, you mean?
Yeah,
Yes, so the pension costs and UAL, which is the unfunded liability, and credit rating is not a factor in that one.
But what is it?
So the credit rating we have for Moody's is an A3.
Okay.
And for S&P, Standard & Poor's, is an AA minus.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank you guys for your presentation.
Sorry. He brought up something I thought about. So what kind of finance charges do we pay on this $319 million that, I mean, I know people got to get their money. So.
Yeah, so the current discount rate is about a 6.9. So that's the interest rate that they're charging against that $319 million.
Thank you. One more.
Jim, would you care to go ahead, please?
Can you please repeat
Yeah, thank you. Just very briefly, we've been hearing for years and years that city was a troubled financial city from the state of California. I'm just glad to hear that that has changed course. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again.
Absolutely.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
That's the question. Now, you're from the finance department, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering what would happen to all the money that we're getting in. I think it's $50 million or something that we're supposed to be getting in for the neighborhoods. Has that been cleared on what you're gonna spend it on and which neighborhoods gonna be involved? And the reason I ask is because I live on the south side of Richmond, and that's been neglected for years.
So, absolutely. So, the city council recently provided direction to the staff in January, actually, asking them to hire a consultant to conduct a community engagement exercise to find out community priorities and needs, and all that exercise will actually be presented to the council, and an update is in the works for the council to provide an update regarding the status of that hiring of the consultant, and that's where it resides right now, the status of that funding.
Okay, now we have another problem. We have street signs that have not been put up. Have you guys bought the street signs to be included in all the neighborhoods in Richmond? Have everybody been advised?
That's for a different department.
Oh,
That's for Public Works.
finance.
So,
Well, I'll wait till Carlos come in.
however, street maintenance do report more than 700 new signs and school crossings being refreshed in last year. So we can definitely see if we have a staff. If not right now, we can definitely get back to you with the proper response about that.
Thank you. Thank you for your report. All right, moving on, Chief Simmons, RPD.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? I'm online today. Am I good? Arto, thumbs up. Can you hear me?
You're good.
You're good.
All right, fantastic. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Tim Simmons, Chief of Police. Right after me, you'll have Lieutenant Patchen, who will also give a presentation about some of our crime stats. But the thing I wanted to report back to the RNCC on this evening has to do with what I talked about last time that I was with you all, and that was the status of our flock safety ALPR cameras, our CCTV cameras, and our drone as a first responder. So the update on that project is the council voted to extend our contract with Flock Safety through the end of December, while I continue the RFP process to evaluate other vendors that are out there that provide similar services. So I just, part two of that is I just completed the RFP, it closed. We just evaluated, there was 7 different companies that put in. We selected the top 3 and to invite them in to do presentations and to do a deep dive. And there'll be a cross section of Richmond departments who utilize the ALPR and utilize the CCTV for different things like illegal dumping, fire safety, public safety in general with the police department, the port. We're going to kind of invite everyone to have a seat at the table as we evaluate the top 3 vendors. My goal is to come back to City Council sometime in the summer to present who the top choice is and see if we can't get a long-term contract past just the end of this year so we can move forward. So that's the status of how we're going to proceed. As it relates to the flock safety technology right now, the City Attorney's Office has been diligently working to amend the contract with Flock Safety so that it includes all of the things that the City Council wanted in the contract amendment to ensure are the rights of our residents, the anonymity of our residents, the protection of their privacy and ownership of the data. So a red line version of the contract went back to Flock Safety last week. Flock Safety sent a version of it back, and the City Attorney's Office is evaluating right now to see if we have agreement. Once we get wet signatures on that contract, I'll probably be somewhere between 6 to 7 business days out of being able to turn all of the cameras throughout the city back on. So that project is still moving forward. There's some work that needs to be done, and there's work being done on it every single day. So I just want the RNCC to know that as soon as I have that finalized and all of the cameras back on, I'll be sending an email out to Arto, and maybe Arto can get that out to the rest of the RNCC board so that you all know that the cameras are on, and we'll also be publishing something on our social media, letting the public know that everything is up, running, and functional. Right now, we still have functional, the drone as a first responder and CCTV, so it's the ALPR portion that we are working on still. So that concludes my report, and thank you for allowing me to be here this evening.
Thank you. Moving on, Mr. Patchett.
Good evening.
Lieutenant Donald Patchen with the Richmond Police Department.
Your mic on?
This will be my first presentation, so
Okay,
can you hear me better now?
better.
Okay. I'll start again. So I'm Lieutenant Donald Patchen. I supervise the Southern District in our traffic and parking unit. Going over the month-to-month crime stats. Total index crimes increased by 260. Total violent crime increased by 42. And again, this is month-to-month from February to March. Homicides, there were no change. Sexual assaults increased by 1. Robberies increased by 14. And aggravated assaults increased by 27. Property crime, unfortunately, also increased by 218 incidents. Burglary luckily did decrease by 3. Thefts increased by 184. Vehicle thefts increased by 34. And arson increased by 3. This would be a total of an increase of 23% from 25 to 26. So that would be the month-to-month comparison.
So before we get to questions, I have a statement and a question. So at our last neighborhood council meeting, Sergeant Ramos was there. And for the very first time, he mentioned the Lancaster Apartments, which is in my neighborhood. For those that don't know, the city of Richmond used to have housing projects like the Hacienda, and they were run down, rat infested. So they ended up moving all those housing projects into my neighborhood into an area that's, I think there's 4 or 6 different apartment complexes. And there's over 1,000 apartments there that are all, I'll say, Section 8. And he mentioned that there were 1,600 calls in 5 months to those apartments. And I've never heard the police department ever utilize those statistics. And I was wondering why, and if you could elaborate on those calls.
So I believe, again, I wasn't here at the last meeting. My understanding of that particular complex is there are a large number of calls, but I also believe that that was incorporating the neighboring complex also. So I don't think that was just the complex that is currently vacant and that they're process of boarding up and we're working on getting the squatters out of. That would be for that whole region. It wasn't just parsed out by the vacant buildings. I can say since the last meeting, there has been progress made. My understanding is that the whole management team has been replaced. There's a new management team in place. We have our community prosecutor and our in-house prosecutor working on drafting language, if need be, to put them on notice that additional penalties will happen if they're not keeping the complex maintained. And my understanding is that they have on-site security now. They're doing a much better job of securing the vacant units. The issue right now, from what I understand, is I believe there's approximately 12 unhoused individuals who are housed in the apartments, and they were there for so long that they actually have established residency, so they're having to go through the eviction process. My understanding is that those evictions are anticipated to occur about 2 a week. I believe they did 2 last week. And the goal would be in the next coming months to have those 10 individuals, I believe now, removed from the property and those units boarded up. We do have a good working relationship with the management right now to where they are calling immediately upon seeing any of the windows removed or they're boarded up, but the squatters are still coming back and trying to enter the property. So they're doing a much better job of maintaining the building security and then notifying us the minute they're finding any of the units unsecured, and then our officers are coming out and taking enforcement action as needed if anybody's located inside the building.
Because the reason I bring this up is I was surprised because 15 years ago, maybe 20, I was there when they brought the papers to the neighborhood council to sign, stating that, oh yeah, we'll accept that. And at that time, the deal was that they would provide all of the security. The whole projects would be fenced off. Mm-hmm. And to hear the statistics for the first time after 15 years, I was like shocked.
Well, again, 15 years ago, that was when they were mostly occupied. There wasn't any vacancies, right? And so the problem is that
well, they transitioned into Section 8.
Correct. And my understanding, the history of the property is that it was hit hard by COVID, and the company that is running it is in some financial issues, and they're trying to sell the property at this point. Right. So at this point, with the units being vacant, it's just a matter of not allowing it to turn into blight. It's going to take some vigilance. an action between us, the management, and their security to ensure that the units are secured and that they're not able to be occupied again.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to state that we appreciate your answer, and we also wanted to state that there are several people who are on Section 8 or who are low income who do maintain their houses. So we don't want to imply that everybody on Section 8 does not take care of their residency.
Correct.
So I just wanted to make that statement. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, Cordell. 7-Eleven.
Guess what subject I'm going to bring up today?
7-Eleven.
Correct. Because I've spoken with the business next door to Casper's, and they've been having some quite issues because they have been noticing that the unhoused individual, like, in the back of their business, like, in the morning. So I do appreciate RPD's response time for handling that. It would be great if we had some more patrol around that area because especially now that it's getting darker, it's like they need protection, especially that business, 7-Eleven. Because I have called it in twice in the last couple of months, and it's like, it has gotten better, but to me, it's still an issue because, once again, I gave the officer, I described what they wore, what they look like, and that's it. And so it would be great if they had some security around that property. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Michelle online, if you'd care to speak.
Yes, Michelle Milam, RPD Crime Prevention. I just wanted to share quickly that I really do appreciate the comments, especially about Westridge. We have been working with the Westridge apartments for the past 6 months and coming up with a plan and a strategy with them and the city to try to make sure that we restore safety there. And so just appreciate the comments that are there and just wanted to share with you that we have been coming up with a plan to work with the management team on a lot of those issues, especially issues with the unhoused. And one of the things that's especially important for residents to know is that if you suspect that someone is squatting in a unit, that gets reported immediately, because the longer someone stays there, the more that it leans towards a civil eviction process, which takes a little bit longer. And so be happy to talk more about that offline. Also want to just let you know that we have an upcoming crime prevention meeting this coming Wednesday at 5 p.m. We will be talking about scams and also copper model wire theft. So that will be going out to you all. You can join online, as well as we did survey the neighborhood councils to identify your top priorities of crime prevention issues and neighborhood safety issues for the year. Do appreciate those of you who are able to get that information back to us. It helps us to prioritize, and especially, I do document all of the cases of the encampment. So Parchester, we're working on a couple of things over on Collins, McDonald Avenue, Erlance and Julia Woods. A couple of the other encampments that we have, we were able to secure and abate the Hinckley encampment. It helps when you make sure that you report that information to us so that we can follow up on it. So just wanted to share that briefly as a little bit of an addendum, and happy to work with you all on those issues.
Thank you. And I just wanted to say that I brought the Lancaster apartments up because it's in my neighborhood, but to hear that there were over 1,600 calls in 5 or 6 months with the police being as shorthanded as they are was just astounding. And it's just a testament to how hard you guys are actually working. I don't know how many you went to, but 1,600 calls from one area in my neighborhood is a lot.
It is.
So I appreciate your work. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
So, from police to fire. Oh, no, wait, yeah, from police to fire. I see Chief Osario's here. Yay.
Get this mic close so I don't get scolded. Good evening, everybody. Aaron Osorio, Fire Chief, Richmond Fire Department. I'll go over the stats for the month of March quickly. Our call volume has been picking up. We ran 1,271 responses in the month of March. That's an increase of 176 responses over February. In our key categories, structure fires, we ran 7 structure fires. That's an increase of 5 of the previous month. No vegetation fires because we're still not in peak season yet due to the rain. Big increase in encampment fires, 52 responses for encampment fires, 15 vehicle fires. That's an increase of 8. And we responded to 706 emergency medical incidents. That's an increase of 63 over the previous month. All the other totals are just accumulation of other types of calls that are less common. For our highlights for the month and coming up, we are still planning our evacuation drill. This will be for areas in the high severity zone, predominantly in District 4. That's going to be on May 30th. It's a Saturday morning where we'll be exercising some of our incident command and evacuation process in the event of a wildfire. We also have our CERT Academy going on right now. We are at the halfway point. We're in week 4 of the CERT Academy. We have about 36 students in that academy. The Youth Academy is in full session now. It's been going for about a month. We have 25 youth from throughout the city and some from West County in this Youth Academy this session. And we had a number of notable promotions over the last month. We appointed a battalion chief to the training division to become the training chief, promoted a new battalion chief, captains, deputy fire marshal, and fire inspectors. So we've been very busy in filling vacancies and promoting up to the ranks in the fire department. Over the last month, we just completed an engineer's examination, which means we'll be promoting a number of engineers in the next 2 weeks. And then we have our fire academy starting on May 3rd. We'll have 9 recruits beginning our 16-week, it'll be 17-week academy this go around, which should bring us up to about the highest staffing levels and operations we've had for over a decade. I did want to share that the month of April is traditionally, we recognize and hold the event in conjunction with Red Cross. It's called Sound the Alarm. We do it every year. It's done throughout all the regions of the Red Cross. Technically, it runs from April 3rd to the 25th for all of Red Cross. But for the one Contra Costa County event, we always tend to hold it for City of Richmond because we have such a good relationship with Red Cross. And so it is, once again, going to be in the City of Richmond. This time it will be kicking off at the Shields Reed Community Center at 1410 Kelsey. And that will be Saturday, April 25th, 9 a.m., and it'll run until 3 p.m. We're not there from 9 to 3 all day. That's usually where the kickoff happens. And then the volunteers, the fire department members go out into the community and install free smoke detectors for single-family dwellings or for apartment buildings with less than 15 units. If you go to the fire department's the website, on the city website, the fire department page, there's a tab on there. You can sign up if you would like to have a smoke detector installed. It's an online submittal form. It'll ask you some questions. It will also ask you, we do them 2 days a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays. If you want it to happen on the Sound the Alarm day, I would check a Saturday and put in the notes that you'd like it to happen that day. Usually have a pretty good turnout for that. If you'd like to volunteer for being part of the crews that install the smoke detectors, part of why we meet at Shields Reed in the morning is there's a quick how to install, the proper way to install smoke detectors and where to install them. You can also register at the American Red Cross at their website. Under Sound the Alarm, there's a volunteer registration tab there. And then you can click on the link that says you want to volunteer for the Contra Costa site at Shields Reed. So I just want to make sure everybody knows about that, encourage everybody to take advantage. It's a great program. We put in a lot of smoke detectors on that day every year. It's an ongoing program, so we do it every Wednesday and Saturday, as long as we have people that apply for it. But this is kind of the big push, big event to get a lot of them done in one day. So we encourage everybody to take advantage of that. That's the end of my report, unless you have any questions.
Thank you, Chief Osorio. Do you have any updates with the city council on where they are with fire department improvements?
For capital improvement projects, we have the RFQ went out through Public Works to solicit for companies that do design and construction, and that would be for the repair or renovation of Station 63, which is the one on Valley View and Amend, which has significant foundation issues. And it was also for the project for Station 66, which is 41st and Clinton in the north and east. So those are the first two projects up on. I know earlier you talked about there's a 5-year CIP, and departments had to prioritize the projects they put on there. Fire department put 4 projects on there, 5 projects, but we had to prioritize them, and those 2 were the first 2. So it's going through the beginning stages of the process. I believe it closes in the next couple of weeks here in April, and then there'll be a review of the submissions and the process of design. The firm will be selected, and then we'll begin the process of design and meeting with the firm. And I believe in the next fiscal year, what was budgeted was for the design and not for construction yet. And I believe in the following fiscal years when the construction budgeting will be part of the fiscal year budget.
Thank you.
I was curious about the 9 recruits. Can you tell me what their age span was? Any old guys?
Well, we're not supposed to ask their age because that's. There are various ages. We have from the youngest being somebody who was one of our former youth academy cadets to individuals who are leaving other fire departments to come to work for us.
Is there an age limit or cutoff?
No, but that's not something you ask somebody in an interview.
Right.
It could be used as a.
Well, I mean, if Don wanted to join.
It's kind of up there asking them what nationality they are. It's not something that we look at. We look at what their qualifications are and their desire and integrity to work in our organization.
So as far as the smoke detectors, are those carbon monoxide as well?
Yeah, they're 10-year dual detectors, and you can get more than one in your home depending on the size of your home and how many rooms.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your presentation.
All right, have a good evening.
All right, do we have anybody from the mayor's office?
If you're here from the mayor's office and I missed you online, please raise your hand.
Okay, moving on, economic development.
Good evening. Charles Gerard, Port Director for the Port of Richmond. I'm here representing economic development this evening. Notes from several colleagues. I'll start with the economic development team, business development. Business development team continues to be available to support existing and prospective businesses. Appointments can be made through the city's website for assistance with permitting, resourcing, and general business inquiries. Facade improvement program. The facade improvement program remains open and continues to receive applications from businesses in the Iron Triangle, Santa Fe, and Coronado neighborhood. Outreach efforts are ongoing, including follow-up with businesses that attended the March webinar. Neighborhood councils are encouraged to continue to share this opportunity with local businesses interested in improving storefronts. Up to $15,000 is available for each approved applicant. A quick recap on the Taste of Richmond. It was held on March 28th at the Richmond Auditorium and was a successful showcase of local restaurants and artisans. The event drew a strong attendance and provided valuable exposure for participating businesses. The event was sold out. The city appreciates the support of the partners, Richmond Chamber of Commerce, the Economic Development Commission, and looks forward to building on the momentum for future events. National Small Business Week will run from May 3rd to May 9th. The City of Richmond will celebrate the National Small Business Week from the 4th to the 8th by highlighting and supporting local businesses throughout the community. Events will provide opportunities to engage with local businesses, promote neighborhood entrepreneurs, and encourage community participation. Information will be posted on the city website. McDonald Avenue Corridor Task Force. Quick update. The task force continues to meet regularly and advance strategies for revitalizing the McDonald Avenue corridor. The public is welcome to attend the second and fourth Tuesday of the month at the Richmond Room in City Hall at 11 a.m. Finally, from Economic Development, the EDC Commission continues to meet on the second Wednesday of each month at City Hall. Open commissioner positions remain available, and interested individuals in supporting Richmond's economic development efforts are encouraged to apply. Additional information on the city website. An update from our Environmental and Health Initiatives Group, Black Resiliency Project, Community Advisory Committee. You can apply to join this advisory committee. To learn more and submit an application, visit the city website. There is a non-cost solar informational and sign-up workshop. The City of Richmond, in partnership with the nonprofit Grid Alternatives, is hosting both a virtual Zoom and in-person workshop for eligible residents in English and Spanish. Participants will receive an overview of the no-cost solar program, learn about eligibility requirements, and have an opportunity to ask questions. The in-person meeting will be on April 29th at 6:30 p.m. at Nevin Community Center. The virtual workshop will be May 13th at 6:30 p.m. via Zoom. If you don't have access to Zoom, you can visit City Hall to participate at Civic Center Plaza in the Richmond Room. There's information on www.richmondenvironment.org. Also for the environmental group, Bike to Wherever Day 2026. Grab your bike, scooter, skateboard, walk and join the Bay Area Bike to Wherever Day on Tuesday, March 14th. Stop by one of the Richmond Energizer stations around the city for free snacks, a swag bag, a chance to connect with your community, and you can find Energizer station locations across the Bay, www.bayareabiketowork.com. Earth Day celebrations will be Saturday, April 18th. One location is Richmond Greenway at Unity Park. That will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And North Richmond at Lucky A's Park, 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. From the real estate division in economic development, the Area FM by Marina Bay. On April 7th, City Council approved construction agreement with O.J. Jones of Berkeley. The construction work will provide a final cap for the city-owned 9 deed restricted sites in Marina Bay. The site cap will protect public health of Marina Bay. On May 6th, Marina Bay Neighborhood Council will host a meeting and further discussion. And on May 15th, the project start date is expected. Also from real estate, the wastewater treatment plant on Canal Boulevard. Water Resource Recovery has prepared an underground infrastructure map for the north section of the wastewater treatment plant. The map is a necessary exhibit to assist the plant's tenant, the Watershed Cooperative. The infrastructure map will help further discussions to utilize additional space needed for the cooperative. And then lastly, from the port, infrastructure repair and remediation is a big part of what we're working on presently. On the April 7th meeting, we received approval from council to proceed with Dynamo Construction to work on the Burr 7 at Point Potrero Marine Terminal, which is a there's a fractured beam within the wharf there, so that's our highest priority for safety purposes. We need funding at the port for these projects. We're waiting to hear from the Department of Transportation on a PIDP grant, which is Port Infrastructure Development Grant. The announcement of the grant recipients has been delayed. If successful, we'll continue additional work at Burst 7. On the grant front, we've also submitted a community funding grant to Congressman Garamendi's office. That would be for berth 5 and 6. That's the wharf adjacent to the Riggers Loft building. We understand that the Congressman's office is advancing our application, but it will take some time to hear the outcome. Also at the port, we're planning, sort of the long-term strategic planning around the port, and the next step in that process is we'll undertake an economic impact study across the Port of Richmond. We've selected a vendor. We'll be going to council for approval on the contract. This will run from May to September, and will give us information on the job numbers, the employment numbers, primary and secondary economic benefits from the operations at the port, as well as tax revenue generated. We're meeting with the port users, public and private, tomorrow to kind of go through that and encourage their participation to help us complete that report. Back in February, this is my last item, we had a discussion with council about a potential move of the Red Oak Victory. There's not a definitive plan to move the Red Oak Victory, but we were pursuing a contract with an engineering firm to do a preliminary design and a program cost outline for permitting and building a structure to support the Red Oak Victory at Ford Point. So there was no conclusion in that discussion, but we'll be back on April 28th with the National Park Service, who has some oversight over Point Potrero Marine Terminal, or Shipyard Number 3, to present their interest in the park and their perspective, as well as further discuss the possible move and/or whether we make an investment to learn more about potentially moving the vessel. So that would conclude my report.
Thank you. We have any questions? Hang on a second. Go ahead.
Okay. Charles Gerard, it was nice to meet you in person and put the face to the name.
Oh, thank you.
So
Someone's asking for your microphone.
you touched on a couple of things.
Your mic, please.
Oh, sorry. You touched on a couple of things that are interest to Marina Bay. And so the SS Red Oak Victory, you said for April 28th, there will be another update. Is that an open meeting, or how would the community learn more about whether or not that it's moving to Marina Bay and the location and who's all involved?
Yeah, so to be clear, we're very much in exploratory stage
Yeah, I
about
understand.
the considerations of a move and what that cost might be. That's the city council meeting. So
City council meeting,
so
okay.
National Park Service will be presenting at that city council meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Naomi?
Okay. We see you in all these reports that you've given us, which is great. But I would like to have copies of the reports, because I know we're not going to remember everything you said that's going to happen here in Richmond. So the next time you come, will you please bring us some reports for everybody?
We can certainly do that. Generally for economic development, we take turns presenting. So I have notes from my colleagues, but I'll share with them that going forward, we can, I know there's a lot of departments within economic development, so happy to share those notes.
Yeah, and I'd like to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded, and it will be up on YouTube, so you can, if you don't get any satisfaction.
Is it right?
Well, I understand that, but if you want to review anything here, right?
Okay, thank you.
One more question from Cordell.
Charles, a couple of questions I had was, are you going to do the second community port day again? Because I really liked when the open house, I loved it. Then the second question is, are you still considering like having high school students to apply for port internships?
Yeah, so for the first question, in September of last year, we held a Port Open House and Community Day. It was very successful. We're targeting September 26th this year to hold that event. I just need to confirm with the city's calendar. And then we're certainly open to internships. One of the grants, another grant that we've applied for, we've written into that grant that we would collaborate with the Auto Warehousing Company, the company that brings in the automobiles, imports automobiles, that through that grant we would fund some internships to work at that site. And that's a site that employs over 100 people. So it's would be a good opportunity for interns to get some exposure.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Any other questions? Any online? Well, thank you, Charles.
Thank you very much.
So moving on, Planning Department.
Good evening, RNCC. Avery Stark, Planning Manager for the City of Richmond. A number of reports and some updates to provide to you all this evening. I'll start with just our project report. Earlier this month, we did our monthly report of projects by neighborhood. We currently have 102 open applications and entitlements with the City of Richmond. That varies from single-family homes, new residential buildings. We've received a few quite interesting small 4-plex, 8-plex projects in and around the BART neighborhoods and BART area. So we're excited to see some new development and projects coming to the City of Richmond. We've recently then also, from a staffing update, brought on board Charles Inchill, who has joined us as a senior planner in our current planning division. So he will, he's joining us from San Francisco. He was there for about the last 7.5 years. So we're very excited to have him on board. He's also the staff liaison to the Historical Preservation Commission. So he's working closely with them and has a background in historical preservation, both as a commissioner for the city of Berkeley, where he resides, and then also as a staff and a subject matter expert. So we're very excited to have him on board. In terms of other project updates for our public hearing meetings, we have a joint Historic Preservation Committee and Design Review Board meeting on Wednesday, April 22nd for the discussion and kickoff of Nystrom Village, which is again a study session of both boards, particularly looking at the Site 1 and the future development of new housing at Nystrom Village. And for Design Review Board upcoming in May, we've got tentatively scheduled the Transmontane project, which will be posting the response to public comments in the upcoming weeks. The public hearing documents that will go with it, some additions, and then we have a new 8-plex multifamily building that is being proposed off Barrett Avenue. And for Planning Commission, we've got a live work project that'll be going to Planning Commission this week, April 16th, and then we have the USCF outpatient clinic at Hilltop, which will be going to Planning Commission as well this week for a public hearing. And then in May, we forecasted for the update, the first public hearing of the public safety and noise element, which will also include adoption of the local hazard mitigation plan, which is work that's being done through the fire department. The update of our environmental justice element, which is again a part of our general plan. And then we have 2 large residential multifamily projects, one at 3151 Garrity Way, which will be the 3rd or 4th entitlement of that project up at Hilltop, and then the Cascade Townhomes on Central Avenue will be slated for its also its 4th or 3rd entitlement. And then at Council, the Planning Department in May will be bringing code updates to our ADU, accessory dwelling unit code, to find further alignment with the state, as the state likes to change the rules every 6 months, and so we got to keep up to date with that. And then we've got a large housing element implementation phase 1 code update, which is about 20 different code sections that will get updated to bring us into substantial compliance with our housing element goals and further production of housing in the city of Richmond. And it'll also be on May 5th that the appeal of the Marina Point project, which was approved by a planning commission, will also be heard by city council. And that is all I have for updates at the moment. Any questions? Be happy to answer.
Thank you. Any questions?
You mentioned the UCSF site. Where is that going to be located?
It is the
at Hilltop?
site just to the north of the
Making waves.
National Rental Car
Yeah.
station. It's an existing two-story building. There's a religious temple, I believe, on the second story, and one other small office space. But the first floor of that building will be converted into an outpatient clinic.
Used to be a AAA.
Yes, the AAA
Hilltop,
building.
across from Hilltop Mall.
And I know Sutter used to have an office building over there. I don't know if it's still there in Hilltop.
I don't
Sutter
know.
East Bay Medical Foundation.
I'd have to check.
Any,
Any update on Miraflores?
No update on the Miraflores. Last we spoke to the developer, they were going to be bringing back a set of plans, and so we really haven't heard anything more from them at this point. We have got items on the agendas for council for the relocation of the Sakai house and then the remediation of the portion of the building that's burnt. So, but no other major updates from the developer on that one at this point.
Hi. So on the, question on the, we have a new lease that's signed. Can you hear me? Oh. So OpenAI, that's already been announced. Do you know what their hours of operation are going to be? And also, are there any plans in the works to address traffic congestion? And also the, what was the other? Oh, yeah, the interior and exterior. Is there going to be any changes to the interior or exterior during the lease-up?
So I can speak to the OpenAI announcement. Yes, there will be probably substantial interior tenant improvements that will be permitted through the city's building department. At this point, there's very minor, if any, exterior modifications. They're generally going to be around fencing and security for that site to ensure that the parking lot is now secure for their tenants. And there's some relocation of the fence for some of the port work that's directly behind that building. And in terms of their hours of operation, I do not have an answer to when they will operate. I understand that it will be roughly, as they ramp up, starting at about 200 employees up to the 600 to 700 number. So as in terms of the shifts that they take, I do not have an answer to that, though.
Yeah, okay, because I was just, there were some concerns in the community about them being open 24/7. And since it's going to be a robotic lab, just the, what would that even, because it's the noise and then the traffic and it being 24/7.
From a noise standpoint, it should be all self-contained within the building. Again, the tenant improvements that will be done will work to ensure that there's appropriate noise sound barriers within that building. And then from a traffic perspective, fortunately and unfortunately, given state law, because that site is within a quarter mile of the BART station as a commercial industrial use, the requirement for parking is actually none under state law. So in terms of mitigation measures, the city is quite hand-tied in terms of what we can do. But again, as they get underway post-construction and into operations, as there are concerns that do come up, please do make them aware to us. Although they do not have a conditional use permit, that doesn't mean we can't ensure that they're still working with us collaboratively to be good neighbors in Richmond.
Yeah, okay. But with that, there's no a plan that is accompanying their lease in terms of their operations and hours and how many people will be on site. And if it is 24/7, that's not publicly,
At this time, no, not the full details of their operation are not publicly available.
Do you know when they're going to take occupancy?
I do not know when they're going to take occupancy. I haven't seen their building permit, but I imagine that either through the city manager's office, it would be announced, or if we have anything more in terms of updates to provide the community.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Garland?
The proposed, well, actually approved housing on Central Avenue, there's supposedly going to be a hearing in May, the first part, with regards to traffic in the area.
Yeah, so that's the Cascade Townhomes on Central Avenue. That'll be the fourth time that it goes to Planning Commission. We will have a public hearing on that item in terms of its review for the new 70 or 42 new townhomes. The holdup has been that an agreement between the city of Richmond, El Cerrito, and the I-80 interchange for the redesign of a bus stop by AC Transit. So we're still working out some of the final details to be able to present where that bus stop will be on Central Avenue as a pullout for a bus, which is shifting some of the things on the site around.
So this is going to be a planning commission meeting?
There will be a design review. Yes, there'll be a planning commission hearing for that project. It went to
what date
design
is
review. Tentatively scheduled for May 7th.
And the previous meetings, can we get a report of what has actually been approved for conditions on the project?
Yeah, so when the project is posted and the agenda and its staff report are posted online, it will have all the conditions of approval that the city is recommending that the Planning Commission consider. So when the agenda is posted 72 hours in advance of the meeting, that's also when all of the packets get presented at the same time. And that's where you'd be able to read and understand the project.
Now, along with that bus stop, is also the bike lane going to be considered? Because it was proposed one on the same side as the bus stop. But that was several iterations ago.
I don't believe there's, my last review of the plans is there's the bus stop, the bike lane wouldn't be in conflict with the proposed new bus pullout, because the bus pullout is going to actually eat into the property that is the Central Avenue project, because they've made a dedication of land to the city. So it won't, if there is a bike lane, it would still be there. But I don't think currently there's a bike lane on Central Avenue.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, I want to thank you for your report. And we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to community services, Ms. Stephanie Nye.
Excuse me. I think I want to ask a question too. Oh, Stephanie's here, so that's okay. Stephanie, that's okay. Go ahead. Yeah, but it's for him.
Ask your question. Go ahead and ask your question, Naomi.
Okay. They have a lot of projects going on, but in 2017, there was about, I know that was before I was born. In 2017, a group of people came in and wanted down by the Tradeway, where it used to be a drugstore. They sold carpet and everything there. They supposedly gotten a committee together that's going to open it up for a wine, not a winery, for
Cannabis.
Cannabis. And they said that it didn't work and they wasn't going to do anything about it. But then every time I pass there, there's people there working. And they should be not working. But have anything changed that they were supposed to give the neighborhood that they're going to move in money?
Yes, I am aware of this. And in terms of what I can share at this moment, so they had an agreement between that developer and the neighborhood council for a donation of, I want to say it's in the $200,000 range, if my memory serves me. That was an agreement that was a forcible agreement that the city entered into with the developer, which they have, I guess in certain terms, reneged on. And so we are currently in the process, and this is work that's being done by Lena Velasco, Community Development Director, and Eva Mann, Code Enforcement Manager, in conjunction with the City Attorney's Office as they work on kind of ongoing litigation regarding that agreement and the ability in the future, if possible, for them to open and operate. So they, I will inform staff and the team that there's been sightings of people there so they can do an inspection to make sure that there's no one actually operating a cannabis facility. I can't speak to whether or not if there's building permits that they're working on, there might be tenant improvements that they still are building, but not operating in the sense that they're growing cannabis yet, but they might still be building out the site. But I'll have Lena and Eva get back to the RNCC with a response on the current status of that.
Okay. So we'll hear more about it later, right?
Yes, I'll have, we'll communicate through the chair a memo.
Okay. Thank you.
Hold on.
Thank you, Avery.
That's the same thing that's going on at the end of Parkchester that you were going to check on. That grow plant, I've been seeing activities, but there's not supposed to be something in there.
Yes,
So-
we're also in the process of working with that landowner to do abatement to begin the process of having them take down the unfinished portion of that power plant that has lost its entitlements. They've expired, and so currently, if any project was to move forward, it would have to be re-entitled as a brand new project of any kind. But the partially built set of buildings and infrastructure, the community development is looking at working with that developer to get those things taken down and return the site to its previous state.
But that wasn't a power plant project next to Parkchester. Power plant was supposed to be on the other side of the highway.
Oh,
Power plant is over on.
power plant, yeah, sorry.
Right.
Which site are you referring to in Parkchester?
This one was supposed to be a grow plant facility, right at the end. So what is that street? Giant
Giant.
and John.
But it's listed, it's marketed as a warehouse at this point in time.
Okay. If it's just marketed as a warehouse, and I don't currently have any applications for cannabis at that location. There are a fair number, there's about 12% vacancy rate of our industrial warehouse space in Richmond right now, and so that's not surprising to me, but I can certainly have our staff take a look to see if there's anything, and I can report back on that building. I'll try to find the address.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Once again, thank you, Avery. Stephanie?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Stephanie Nye. I am an analyst with the City of Richmond Community Services, Recreation, and Public Works, and I'm also the liaison to RNCC. Today, I'm here to give you updates primarily focused on recreation. First, I want to thank everybody for their participation in Neighbor to Neighbor. I know it ended some months ago, but we do have one last thing up our sleeve that we'd like to share with you all. So if you are a participating neighborhood council, please check your email sometime tomorrow. We're going to have a last special surprise for you guys. We do have our final numbers in for Neighbor to Neighbor, and over the course of a year and a half, the City of Richmond and 17 neighborhood councils, we held 124 events with over 5,000 people in attendance and 15,000 hours of neighbors connecting. This is just reported data, of course, for the attendance and the hours, and we all know that it's probably much higher than that. So I just want to thank everybody, thank all the neighborhood councils, RNCC, Richmond Community Foundation for their participation, all of their hard work and patience for Neighbor to Neighbor. Thank you. It was our pleasure. Next, I'd like to share a few updates. Through Love Your Block Recreation, partnered with Parks and Landscaping, Groundwork Richmond, and Youth Build for a work day at Nevin Park back in March. 28 participants planted 9 trees, and we also painted the playground fence and cleaned up the park. And this also happened to fall on a day where it was about 85 degrees outside. But it looks really nice. Go check it out if you're in the area. And we're planning our next one in the next month, although we haven't determined our location yet. Recreation also hosted 3 special events this past month, including the Spring Egg Hunt, Floating Egg Hunt, and Holy Celebration with Zumba. Thank you to all community members who joined us for these special events. Next, I'd like to announce our upcoming events. On Saturday, April 25th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Nickel Park, save the date for Park RX Day, Park Prescription Day. Join us for free community fitness classes, health and community resources, and kids and family activities. This year, we're excited to announce we'll have rock climbing walls and human hamster balls, smoothie bike, blender bike art, a watercolor workshop, Zumba, hip hop follow along classes, and more. So if you'd like to register to table, please contact me, Stephanie Nye. The last day to register is this Friday for the event happening 2 Saturdays from now. The Richmond Commission on Aging and Our Transit are hosting the 3rd annual Senior Transportation Workshop and Town Hall event on Thursday, April 30th, 2026, from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. at the Richmond Auditorium lobby. This is a free event that includes a guest presentation from Mobility Matters. Also save the date for, I don't exactly have a date, but save your July for the grand reopening of Shields Reed Park. After several years of hard work, we're pleased to announce that the park is completing construction and will soon be open to the public. And we'd like to invite you all to join us. This was a project that was funded by an $8 million grant from the state of California. We also have multi-use field improvements going on that was funded through ARPA, I believe. And this is all coming to a close. So save your July for, for the grand reopening, and we'll announce the date pretty soon, actually. In terms of programs with recreation, on May 1st, registration opens up for our summer camps. Summer camps are for kindergarten through 8th graders, and camp will take place June 15th through August 7th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., with extended care options available as well. Camps are available at May Valley Community Center and Recreation Complex for $100 a week, or at Booker T. Anderson Community Center, Nevin, Parchester, and Shields Reed Community Centers for free. Spaces fill up very quickly, so save your May 1st if you want to register your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews for our popular summer camps. If you have any questions about anything, you can contact our registration office, 510-620-6793. If you have anything related to neighborhood councils that you'd like to discuss, you can contact me, Stephanie Nye, 510-620-6563 or 510-932-0984. And that will conclude my updates.
Thank you. Any questions?
Stephanie, the grand opening for Shields Reed is July 11th at 9 a.m. At least that's what we were told at Recreation and Parks Commission.
Okay. An official announcement to come. Because I think that time is still up in the air a little bit.
Stephanie, you said May 1st was the registration. Was that for the summer camps? That's in person at each, the registration is at each community center?
Oh, I'm not sure. I could look into that and get back to you, because I think they also do online registration, but I'll look into that and let you know.
Carlin, you have your light on? You have your, okay. Any questions online? Naomi, I see she said it.
I would ask Stephanie, when we send out newsletters from the community, especially to the council, I know we're supposed to have X amount of numbers of letters that we're supposed to send out to people before we can get on the mailing part. I think it's up to 200, anything over 200. I'm right there. Oh, excuse me. I need all the help I can get. Thank you. I can even hear it now. But anyway, we get when we had it before, we took the mail to one spot, and that was the end of it. But now I hear that we take it to more than one spot in order to get things done. And we're just volunteers. We don't get paid to do any of these things. Isn't there somebody we can get to send our mail out for us? Steph.
Yeah, so for bulk mailing for neighborhood councils, at this time, we don't have the resources available for our staff to send it out. the neighborhood council is still responsible for sending it out, although we have, made it clear that we are requesting that resource in the future. But right now, you only need to take it to one bulk mail facility. However, there are two options that are provided to neighborhood councils to bring the bulk mail to. One is in El Cerrito and one is in Oakland. The Richmond bulk mail facility no longer accepts our bulk mail permit. So now our only options are El Cerrito or Oakland. We always recommend Oakland because they're almost always open and they're very easy to work with. El Cerrito has very limited hours, but we do put it on there because distance could be an issue for some, but coordination has proven to be quite the challenge for those who have tried to drop off at El Cerrito.
Okay, but the problem is not the mail itself, it's how it's going to get there. You can't tell people that's volunteering to go over to Oakland in order to get mail from Richmond. That's not fair to us.
I understand that's very challenging. Unfortunately, we don't have a solution to that at this time.
Thank you. And could you remind everybody here that's listening, we still get 4 newsletters and 4 postcards?
4 mailers, yeah. So if you don't use your mailers and you just print out flyers, for example, there's one neighborhood council who typically only just prints agendas out. You could get additional printings. But if you are mailing it due to the cost, you have 4 a year. Fiscal year, sorry.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll be seeing you at our e-board meeting. Next, we have Carlos Castro from Public Works.
Good evening, RNCC. I am Carlos Castro, Streets Maintenance Superintendent for the Streets Maintenance Unit. I'll go through real quick with our updates. We are officially in paving season, so please be mindful if you see cones and signs out there. There could be construction going on in your area. Our engineering unit is also in the middle of a Cape Seal project, so please be mindful of that also, because if you drive on their freshly laid asphalt, you are going to mess the street up, you're going to mess the job up, and you are going to mess your car up. So please be mindful of any construction signs and cones that you see so that you can get the best job possible. Our pavement maintenance crew, our in-house crew, recently resurfaced Brooks Avenue and Grant Avenue from 23rd Street to 24th Street. And then late last year, East Bay Mud performed some pipeline installations and some paving on some streets where they only paved half of it because that's all they had to do. We wanted to finish those streets, so we paved the second half of 2nd Street, 3rd Street, and 4th Street last week. This week, we are on Nevin Avenue between 1st Street and 8th Street, again, kind of following East Bay Mud. Next week, our plan, if the weather holds up, is we're going to be on Barrett Avenue from A Street to 6th Street, 7th Street. It kind of interchanges right there. That's if the weather holds up. That's where we'll be. Like I said, we are full-fledged in paving season. We're still filling potholes when we have time, but our main focus right now is getting you guys some new streets. For our street sweeping unit, it's been operations as normal. We've been able to sweep pretty much probably 95% of the routes because we haven't had too much rain lately. Friday, we did have a little bit of rain, but we still were able to sweep. It was only a light rain. So like I've mentioned before, if it's a light rain or just a sprinkle, we will try to sweep because as of right now, we don't have any way to put out a robocall or anything like that to let you guys know that we're not sweeping. But we do coordinate with our parking enforcement team. If we're not going to sweep an area because of a sweeper breakdown or because of weather or whatever the issue is, we do coordinate with our parking enforcement team to let them know not to cite parked vehicles in that area. So we're doing a lot of coordination with them. March 31st, which was Tuesday, that was a holiday. There was no sweeping that day. And whenever we have a holiday, our normal schedule resumes the next day. We simply don't have the capacity to go back and cover that area once the normal work week begins again. Plus the fact that our city is actually signed for street sweeping, it wouldn't work anyways because they can't enforce if it's not signed. We were able to, on March 30th, we were able to sweep the Richmond Parkway medians. And then the 29th and 30th of this month, which is a Wednesday and Thursday, those are both fifth days. We will be back on the Richmond Parkway sweeping. Other than that, it's our normal schedule. Our traffic signs and lines crew, they're following right behind the paving team, but they've also started refreshing all the signs on McDonald Avenue. We're basically going to do the whole length of McDonald Avenue from San Pablo Avenue all the way to Richmond Parkway. We started on the San Pablo Avenue side because we've done some other work over there. So we've in the last 2 months, we've installed 140 new signs. That's just miscellaneous projects, plus our paving projects, plus McDonald Avenue, and street sweeping signs. We're doing a lot of street sweeping sign refresh right now. I heard Miss Naomi ask a question earlier. Please ask me again so that I can give you the answer. And just to mention again, something that we started probably last year, maybe the year before, is whenever we go to pave a street, we want to leave that street all brand new. So it's getting brand new signs, it's getting brand new curb paint, and of course, brand new traffic markings. And then something else that we're doing, just so everyone is aware, is whenever we pave a street that's in a school zone, if we install a new school crosswalk on the new asphalt, we're also installing new crosswalks, even though some of the other asphalt might not be new, just because we want all those school crosswalks vibrant and very reflective, so that we're bringing attention to those. Our sign shop also, we assisted of the electrical unit with the new speed feedback sign on Morningside Drive. That was mainly our electrical unit, but we did assist them there. And I think that is all I have. I do want to mention a couple things. I've got a couple calls lately. People are seeing some not city workers, but they're they're looking at our signs and taking pictures of our signs, and they're actually have a device that they're scanning our signs. That is a contractor that is gathering information for us. We have a new sign program called DataWorks that they're giving us all these sign information so that we can update it as we install these signs. It's going to help us track the signs better, the longevity of the signs. We know everything facing south is going to fade faster than anything else. So if you see them out there and it kind of looks, like they're not really doing any work, they are gathering data for us. So they are supposed to be there. And I did want to mention one other thing. There is a lot of cones throughout the city that don't have anything to do with a job site or a special event permit. And we have to start picking these cones up, because what it is people are just trying to save themselves a parking spot. Especially once you get to the heart of Richmond, there's not, too much parking. But unfortunately, the cones being left out are not letting us sweep the street how we want to. So if we notice cones out and they don't have anything to do with a construction site or a special event permit where somebody has a permit to have these cones on the street, we are going to start picking these cones up. So if you guys could help spread the word on that, we would really appreciate it, because you guys care about the community. You see the cones out there. So if you could help us spread the word, we would really appreciate it. That is all the updates that I have. I'm available for questions.
Thank you. Questions?
Carlos, I just wanted to follow up with the curb paintings on McBride. I'm not McBride, sorry, wrong street. Ream. I noticed we almost had an accident there right in front of me because people are parked too close to the corners. So I'm wondering, and this is above 23rd to San Pablo. So I don't know if you've got a list on that. And if you don't, your boss is over there, I can ask him too.
So right now I don't have a list, but if it's pertaining to the daylighting law, the curb does not have to be red for someone to receive a citation. They can receive a citation if they're parked within 15 or 20 feet of the curb. If there's anything that's red already, we can refresh it. But if you're looking to get new curb paint, we have to get a work order from the engineering so that everything is tracked and you know, it's, we have a record of it.
Thank you very much.
Hi,
You're
Carlos.
welcome.
As Jan just pointed out, this really is for your boss. If you're coming off the parkway, off the Giant Road, soon as you make that right and you're going on the street, their trees are overlapped and you cannot see. It was brought to my attention and I saw it the other day. It's an accident waiting to happen. The last time I mentioned it, it was with the mayor's chief of staff, but you've got to come cut those trees because you can't see, so you have to edge all the way out. And it's been 2 or 3 people that have brought it to my attention, and yeah, I came off the street the other day and it's bad. It needs to be cut. So if you guys.
So is this as you exit Parkway and turn right onto Giant?
Correct.
Okay. I don't want to speak for our Parks Department, but I believe they are aware of the area and they have scheduled that, but I will double check with them.
Yeah, they're over here nodding. We're good.
Okay.
Thanks.
We have an online. Laura, please go ahead.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
My name is Laura Austin. I'm with the El Sobrante Hills Neighborhood Council. And I'm calling because I wanted to ask Carlos about the streets in El Sobrante Hills. I've been in this area for 32 years and nothing has been done to the streets except patch. Solitude Lane, every time it rains, it leaks. So it does have I'm thinking there's a spring or something on there. So I was wondering when you're going to do something about this area up here. And then my second question is Rain Cloud Park. The neighborhood is changing drastically, and we have a lot of kids in the neighborhood now, and the park has been tapered off. So there is no place for the kids to go and play. So what are the plans to reopen that park up with some new equipment for the children to play?
I'll take the first question about the paving. Solitude Lane is on our in-house paving list. I know that we're hoping to get to it this summer, actually. And I don't know exactly what streets, but I know there's some other streets up there that are going to be Cape sealed very soon. If you've seen last summer, fall, there was a bunch of patchwork done. That was in preparation of the engineering unit's Cape Seal project that they have going on this year. As far as the park, I don't have any answers. Maybe Daniel does.
Darren's got it.
Maybe who does?
Daniel or Darren, if they're there.
Yeah,
There he is.
Darren Fitzpatrick, Assistant Deputy Director, Public Works Operations. Rain Cloud Park, we have received the new play structures, and now we are working with our contractor for removal and install of the new features. So don't have an exact ETA of when it will be complete, but we're looking in the next month or 2. It'll be in and ready to go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for calling in. Are there any other questions? No? Oh, I did have a question for you, Carlos. How are you doing with the street sweeping signs in the Fairmead Hilltop Neighborhood Council? And how far are you from completing all of the street sweeping signs?
Fairmead Hilltop should be complete. As far as the rest of the city, we're a long ways away. We've refreshed Parchester, Fairmead Hilltop, Hilltop Village. The next area that I want to do as a whole area is Santa Fe. That's a smaller area. We can get a win there. The signs are very expensive, so I have to watch what I do when I do those type of projects where I do the whole neighborhoods. But that is something that we're trying to institute this year and going forward. Besides just the one-offs that we get requests from you guys, requests from other citizens, we want to replace whole neighborhoods at a time, especially with the citations being enforced again. So Fairmead Hilltop should be complete. If you notice any missing, please let me know. And I'll definitely cruise the area again.
Okay, April, I see April coming up to the mic. If you'd like to introduce yourself and your neighborhood.
Yes, April Roy from Hilltop Village. We're an HOA. I noticed that we're getting some lights, and I believe they're solar, on Robert Miller Drive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know what magic happened, but because of all the homeless that we've had on that area and the hill under us, the fires and so on, the lighting is going to be excellent. One question. Any possibility of the area below Hilltop Village on Hilltop Drive between Hillview and Robert Miller? That's a black area back there. And Summer Lane is on one side of Hilltop Drive.
Right.
And Hilltop Village is, right above that. So it's a black area. People do walk. We're just, wondering if there's any possibility in the future of lighting going in there, but thanks again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Chavarria. I'm the Public Works Director. And it's very evident that you don't need me here in these meetings when you have Carlos providing this excellent report. So I'm very happy that you're noticing the lights, and that was the purpose in this first pass. The City Council approved almost $3 million in December just for this solar lighting. And you're starting to see how that impact positively the community. But I want to just tell a short story, because right now you're seeing this, and installing the solar lighting, it's fairly quickly, right? Once you have the equipment here, it's fairly quickly. You can put an entire corridor in 2 weeks, 3 weeks max. And you said, why you didn't do it before? Well, we were working on it for 3 years. So, but I want to emphasize that, because doing the work itself is relatively quick. Getting the money takes longer time. Getting the contract with a vendor is even longer. Designing what you need to do takes even more. So we started this effort with solar lighting when we started noticing that, hey, we're being hit with a lot of copper, right, thefts, and it hurts the city a lot. In fact, it has sort of more than $1 million just to replace it. And when they take that, the entire corridor gets dark. And to go back and install everything again not only takes a lot of time, but also it takes another investment. So this solar lighting is helping us in that, not to say also that we don't have to pay PG&E, that every time we install it, every pole we install, that same night is working. We don't have to wait for the entire corridor to be installed. So there are many advantages. But what I'm trying to say here, I want to stress, is that we can repeat this success in other areas. But we can do everything. We cannot just do it, all of it, at the same time and all at once. So what I'm trying to put is, there's going to be this exercise that was presented by the finance department, that this consultant is going to have this major outreach to the community in how to invest the Chevron settlement money. And I'm pretty sure that you have, every single neighborhood is going to have at least 10 different needs, right? And we can do it all, but there has to be a sequence to have a success like this. Now, we're going to keep requesting the City Council more funding for solar and addressing other areas. Locally, as I said, we already have everything in place. All we need now is the funding. But there are other needs, of course, and that's where the City Council is going to have to balance what they can keep doing. So at the same time, we're working on a streetlight master plan that would help us identify better all the needs, right? However, those needs that are today, in 2 months from now, may change. simply because, oh, we got hit with another copper theft in this other area that we were not counting on, we needed a replacement. So it's a constant battle, but what we ask the community is to be alert. Whenever you see anything happening, report it to the police immediately. Immediately, we want to catch these guys or these folks. We want to catch them, and because we want to stop that to keep going and happening. Remember, these new poles, what they have is solar panels, right? I mean, people are very creative. So if you see somebody with a ladder, call the police immediately because we're not doing these jobs at night.
Well, before you leave, I'd like to say that on any projects in the future, if you need an ally or somebody to work with, the RNCC is here for you, and so are the individual neighborhood councils. We would like to work with you, and we would like your input and help on our projects as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Daniel, I did want to tell you that I was watching them. I would drive home down Carlson, and I kept trying to figure out what they were doing. I go, here are these guys with these big old poles, I'm trying to figure out what they were doing. And then at one of my other commissions, there was the answer. There's solar panel, there's solar lights up there. So we were very excited about that.
And we just started because Darren is leading this effort on the operations and maintenance side. And I think we only have 2 out of 10 locations that we're working or?
Yeah. So to answer your question specifically, with the $3 million allocation from council, there was 12 original locations selected. We've already completed 3 of those. The site you mentioned is not currently one of those 12, but we have kind of a priority list, and we're always looking for input to reevaluate that and move forward as we receive additional funding every year. So we're trying to build upon those 12 projects.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to talk to them offline, that's Naomi, that'd be good. Or do you have a question? Yeah, I'll stay. Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you for your presentation. Thank you, Carlos, if you're still there.
Ardo, can I give one more quick update or statement? This month started on a Wednesday, so please be mindful when you're looking at the calendar for your sweeping day. Whenever the month doesn't start on a Monday, people kind of get confused. So this month started on a Wednesday. So, for instance, the first was the first Wednesday, but the 7th was the first Tuesday. So just be mindful of that when you're planning your parking the night before sweeping.
Thank you. Duly noted. So I want to thank all of the staff members that came in and spent their time with us tonight. Thank you for your presentations, and we'll move on to old business. And I don't know that we have anything to discuss. And with new business, I want to personally thank Stephanie Nye for her help in with the Neighbor to Neighbor grant and facilitating a brand new website for the RNCC. And we will be releasing it here shortly. He said 7-Eleven's back up.
Nah, I got some ideas for a future agenda topic. So I just got one in the mail a couple of days ago from Home Match. So as I brought it up last time, it's an idea that just occurred to me, and I said it would be possible if to have Logan Robertson to come speak to us at a future time to tell us more about what this program does, because I think about the elderly in our community, and it dawned on me, and I said, it would be perfect to match a person with an elderly, and I'm like, it's perfect. So I brought it to the board's attention to see if it's possible to have Ms. Robinson to come speak to us at a later time. Then the other idea that I had was is to invite a representative from Caltrans and BNSF Railroad to come and talk to us about some of the issues regarding the trains, because I come down Cutting and Carlson daily, and it's an issue because trains be stopping at an inopportune time, especially like in the morning. So if there's any way that we can have 1 or 2 groups to come and present to us, that would be very helpful.
Thank you. We are looking into the train issue as well. And before we adjourn this meeting, I wanted to say that we are having a mayoral forum on April 23rd, Thursday night, 6:30 to 8 at the Hilltop Community Church. So you will want to come, if you can, to hear what these candidates have to say. And speaking of candidates and city council people, we have one in the audience. I don't know if you have anything you'd like to add to the conversation. City Council Member Doria Robinson? No?
No, not.
Or Vice Mayor, my apologies. You better come up to the mic now. No campaigning though, right?
I just wanted to say that I'm really just thankful for the staff. I feel like I've seen over the last 3 years just so much great work from all the new staff and like all the things that they're doing. There really are moving projects, like things aren't really getting lost. And I remember when the talk was first starting around the solar lights and to see it come into fruition and really make a difference on Carlson, right? And so knowing that that kind of quality of work from our city staff is coming on, and it will be the new norm. It is the new norm. So just excited about that and always here to help. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, District 3.
And then moving on, our next RNCC general meeting will be Monday, May 11th at 7 p.m. right here in the city chambers or city council chambers. And I think that's about it, unless someone has something they want to say.
Something. It's not nothing important except that this is a state law that cars should be at least 20 feet from the intersection of the other streets. Now, since he says that we're gonna wait, I'm suggesting that maybe planning need to put up a sign on every post right there at the corners by the intersections to say at least 20 feet, because I have cars parked right there at the curb. And that's on all four sides. And they're not there. They're park their cars and they leave them. But that's for everybody that's in that neighborhood. They also put their cars there. So it'd be good if they put up the sign on maybe on the telephone post on that corner and just say at least 20 feet or you get a fine. Because he just said you don't have to have it read in order to have the sign up there. It's a state law that we need that sign there.
Well, you heard it here. Thank you, Naomi. And with that, I'd like to close this meeting. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for viewing. Bye-bye.